Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Mistonia's Hope, continuing Linus's bad endings. So we're in the middle of the Astray ending. So let's see, because we went home with Edward, and Edward was like, "Girl, I like you, baby." And so, like, I feel like they're setting us up for, like, a love triangle ending, and I'm here for it. And if I don't get it, I'm gonna cry. Or, rage flip something. I don't know. We'll see. So, a few hours later, Edward found himself facing a visitor, Alfred. I think we switched, so we might be technically in Edward's perspective, but I don't think it's going to be his perspective. Like, ours is first person, That should be all for my report. My apologies for coming here uninvited when it's not a conference day. Please don't apologize, though we don't have much time until the exhibition. I'm glad we were able to discuss this in advance. If anything else comes up, don't hesitate to call again. After all, if our current endeavors are for the greater good of Grand Albion, I fully intend to invest every possible effort. Oh, your wording is curious. Are you dissatisfied with our current government? No, not quite. I won't tell on you. If you only want a listener, I'm all ears. So if there's anything on your mind, why don't you talk with me? Alfred's like, I mean, if you just want to talk, I'll totally listen, because conspire to get you into my web. I wouldn't say it's on my mind. I merely have the feeling the Queen only perceives the exhibition as entertainment and nothing else. She doesn't seem ardent about contemplating its domestic and international influence. But what do you think, Al? Consider this purely my private opinion. I concur, mostly. And that said, the Queen's indifference about politics isn't new. Why concern yourself with it now? Frankly, this isn't new for me either. I've thought long and hard whether there's any way to make this country a better place. Especially recently. And I keep coming to the conclusion that this exhibition is our golden opportunity. I see. It's just like you to think that way. This makes it sound like Edward's going to be easily swayed into helping Alfred be an anti-royalist and get rid of the Queen. You know what I mean? Like, which doesn't surprise me. You know what I mean? But it is one of those, like, save it for his route, but at the same time, Linus's did spoil Ascot a little in the, like, Ascot giving us a knife, and you're like, okay, wait! Sussy bitch, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Which was unexpected, so now it's like, okay, why? And I'm curious. And Edward was kind of the on the fence one. You didn't know. Was he going to be like, yeah, he'd totally go against the Queen? Or was he like, no, staunch royalist? You know what I mean? Because you kind of felt like knowing Lucas... Well, Lucas was kind of like... You had Lucas and Alfred being the anti-royalists and the ones that getting rid of stuff. But even though Lucas wasn't very much like, down, kill the Queen, it was like, I hate everything about this position and everything. So you could see him being anti-royalist. Whereas Linus and Ascot were always going off, always helping the Queen, always seemed very loyal. So, and now we have reasonings. We know why for Linus, but it's interesting for Ascot. Like, okay, but you're actually really not. You're willing to give me a knife to stab her. So intriguing, I figured Edward would absolutely go against her to save us type of a thing. But I kind of felt like we might either go down and he'd be like, he would never have questioned what was wrong, and then we'd be like, are you really that blind or that delusional? Like, you don't really, you know what I mean? So I didn't know if it would be like, we're convincing him by being like, open your fucking eyes, Edward. Or if he's kind of noticed, but he feels powerless in the sense that, like, he's not really, like, he's allowed to lead this conference, but his father's still head of the house, and he's in a very difficult position, which is what it could be, so. Oops! Sorry for coming in without knocking. I was under the impression that you'd already gone, Lord Al. No, that's quite all right. I was just about to take my leave. Edward, can we schedule some time to discuss this another day? I've also been thinking over various concerns. It'd be great to get your opinion. Yes, gladly. I shall contact you about the exact time later. Now, if you'll excuse me. Well then, have you fetched the documents I asked for, Phil? Yep, the whole bunch. I brought documents compiled after the previous exhibition ended, and while I was at it, I also got stuff written up just before the event. I'll put them away, so call when you're done. That's great help. Thanks. I've examined possible problems for our exhibition by referring to the issues of the previous one, but I may have missed something. Oh, this was written by Duke Randolph? I didn't expect any of these to be left. Even from a single document, I can see he was meticulous. Until the incident, he was said to be a charismatic man and a doting parent. I was young, so my memories are vague, but I agreed. Doting parent. Right. Children. I'm not the kind of girl you think I am, Lord Edward. By all rights, I'm someone who deserves to be driven out from this place. Is he suspecting? Ridiculous. An absurd leap of logic. What's so ridiculous? You're still here, Phil? Well, you look like something was on your mind, so I got curious. Was there something weird written in those documents? Not exactly, no. I was just a bit surprised because one was written by Duke Randolph. Randolph? Ah, the vanished ducal house, right? Lady Lily talked about it. If I remember right, there was a rumor that there were survivors, right? If it's true, my bet's on one of the kids. Why is that? Usually it's the small children that manage to escape from disasters like these. Is it inconsiderate to say stuff like that? Not really. Sort of, but yes, but no. Like, you're saying it with a sort of insensitive tone, but again, it's just you're kind of away from the scenario. Not the way Lily was talking about it, where it's like, what the fuck? You know, Philip's just like, if there was a survivor, it'd probably be one of the kids because, you know what I mean? Like, this is more clinically detached. Not exactly clinical, but still a little bit more clinical than the way Lily was talking about it. I'll give you a pass, Philip. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, I'm off for real this time, so please summon me once you've finished. Maybe I'll try digging into it a little. He's going to figure out who we are. A few days passed after Edward disclosed his feelings. Even now my night with Linus haunted me. I ended up making a series of mistakes. You seem to have your head in the clouds. I distinctly remember instructing you to wipe the windows before cleaning the corridor. Versus, I messed up. If I don't behave like a flawless servant, my cover's at risk. Failing Nicholas's direction was beyond careless. I mean, the thing is, you've been through a lot, so you're stressed. So, my deepest apologies. I shall see to it right away. To remedy my error, I heaved up the bucket I'd left near my feet. When cleaning windows, better to do the outside first. As I began... Nick, did something happen? I heard reprimanding. Lord Edward, Edward appeared from around the corner, looking concerned. I meant to tell him I was in the wrong, but I was cut short. Oh. Startled by Linus's unforetold appearance, my hand slipped and dropped the bucket. Fortunately, it was empty, but I could feel Nicholas's dissatisfaction like electricity in the air. Nick, if she's done anything that requires scolding, the fault is mine. Yesterday, I asked for her help with my work late into the night. I heard nothing about this. She wouldn't bring it up herself. That's the kind of woman she is, isn't she? I accept responsibility. I'll go help her unwind. I bet you will. In front of Linus, no doubt. Saying that, Edward approached and took my hand firmly. There would be no objecting. Lord Edward... Come, let's enjoy some fresh garden air. He's so ridiculously pretty. Pulling me along by my hand, Edward marched past Linus without acknowledging his presence. Linus... My eyes never met Linus's either, and yet what I felt more keenly wasn't Edward's warmth enveloping my hand, but Linus's heat when I passed him by. Thank you very much for covering for me. Please accept my apologies. As I came to a stop, I said that before anything else. Edward wouldn't let go of my hand and now studied my face. It's not like you to catch Nick's negative attention. If your fluster arose from my confession, I would be delighted. But judging by what just happened, that doesn't seem to be the case. Does Lynn weigh on your mind after all? Or do you struggle with maintaining your composure because you're a Randolph? What? Hearing that name, my shoulders jolted. I ripped my hand away without thinking. Should I run? No, I should use my face. I widened my eyes with shock. Seeing that, Edward hugged me loosely to soothe me. Don't be so anxious. I brought you out here because I wanted to talk things over with you at our own pace. I'm not here to condemn you. So please, I want you to tell me this. Your name is Spacey E. Randolph, isn't it? Yes, you are correct. He found out. He knew everything. But Edward said he still wanted to talk, and unable to lie to him, I replied truthfully. You must resent the Queen for what transpired 8 years ago. I've heard that the tragedy of Eltbeak came by Her Majesty's orders. Accordingly, it's inevitable that you stand opposed to Lynn, the Queen's loyal subject. Despite that, your heart was drawn to him, and you suffer because of it. Is that right? Look at his sad face! How can you, even though we're in Linus's route, how can you look at Edward and be like, yes, I'm in love with him? You'd be like, oh, no, don't be sad, though. Look at his sad face. He's like, you're in love with him, aren't you? Oh! Oh my god, look at his precious little sad face. If only that was all. Linus and I first met each other just before the tragedy. That's why it feels all the more suffocating. But I didn't feel like confiding to that extent. I simply confirmed his theory. It's precisely as you say, Lord Edward. If you know that much, why aren't you restraining me right now? I'm the next head of House Bernstein, but I don't share the same beliefs as my father. I am not, and never will be, your enemy. You're not going to turn me into the Queen? I whispered. Edward tightened his arms around me before leaning to my ear and speaking in a hushed, secretive voice. Not if you marry me, I won't. I mean, they could really go that route and make it dark. I'll never do anything like that. After all, my wish is to clear your name, clear House Randolph's name. Look at how sweet and innocent he looks. I believe him. What do you mean? Don't tell me you have anti-royalist sentiments, too. I'd raised my voice at his confession, so Edward tenderly pressed a finger to my lips. Flashing me a small smile, he explained. That wording makes me sound dangerous. All I want is to rectify the state of the nation. The current Grand Albion is a ruthless land. It abandons the powerless and treats them as if they never existed from the beginning. But if all the citizens of the nation cast status and birth behind them and upheld equality instead, the country would flourish. To achieve such a future, it may be necessary to request that the Queen steps down from her throne peacefully. I've adopted such thoughts lately. Peacefully means you aren't considering making attempts on the Queen's life. Hearing my muttering, Edward nodded. You're right. Strictly speaking, my path may differ from the one you wish to take. But I imagine the ends are the same. So, Spacey, would you like to work together? You want to join forces? It was another unexpected proposal. Edward surprised me multiple times within minutes. I had trouble keeping up. He leaned down so our eyes were level as he looked at me. Yes, if we rise up against the Queen with my methods, you won't have to fight Lynn. You don't want to become his enemy, right? How wonderful would it be if that were possible? I have wondered, but... Once again I agreed with what Edward pointed out. Selecting his words carefully, he kept pressing. Lynn is someone who'll bear his fangs at those who strike back with the sword. But in the current state of affairs, he probably wouldn't notice political tactics. And if someone took over the throne, he'd be loyal to them. That's the nature of Kusiths. If I work with Edward, would that mean that I can avoid a battle with Linus? It sounded more tempting to me than Edward's confession of love. This was a sweet, sweet poison. Even though I knew logically that I shouldn't commit to this on a whim, my nascent hope drowned out my rationality. What can I do to help realize that goal? Understanding my indirect answer, Edward's eyes lit up with a brilliant light. First, let's head together to Eden again. I'd like you to be a bridge between those forced to the bottom of society and nobility. Understood. I do believe that's within my current capabilities. Recalling my time with Leonardo in Eden and Eden in general, I felt I could fulfill that promise. Then Edward's smile became conflicted, and we should get married. Throw that in there, please. I'm happy you agree with my proposal. That and it's all right if you want to forget for the time being that I like you. Of course, my feelings won't change, but I know that a certain someone has your heart. But after everything settles down, I'd be grateful if you received my confession again. I'll wait for your answer until then. Thank you very much. I honestly felt relieved. For a split second I saw Edward's expression cloud over, but he immediately cheered up as he spoke again. From now on, please call me Ed when we're alone. You don't have to be so formal. We're allies after all. Gazing at the hand he offered me, I thought that before this moment I'd have refused him firmly as a servant. But as allies, it was a different story. Right. Got it, Ed. As we shook hands, I tried to tell myself that this was the best outcome possible, yet there was a persistent thorn digging in my chest. I decided to ignore it. Believing that I'd made the right choice, I began my journey down a new path. The exhibition was right around the corner. The final Five Houses conference decided a ball would be held in the Bernstein estate. I spent a lot of my time helping out with Ed's work recently, but today I was busy as waitstaff. However, everybody's wearing their finery. Oh, look at them. Strange. I don't see Linus anywhere. I caught a glimpse of him attending the conference. Even if he returned to his townhouse to change into formal attire, it was about time he came back. Hey there, you look a little bit restless. Is something bothering you? Look at you. Look at your little flared vest. You've got like your vest has a little skirt on it. I love it. Under prying eyes, Edward spoke to me as my employer like before. I felt awkward for some reason, hearing that tone again. To hide that feeling, I forced a spirited smile. A spirited voice, sorry. Oh, okay, I love you, Bird, but I need you to move. Your toenail is digging right into my throat. I'm sorry, I love you. Can you sit here instead of digging your toenails into my throat? I know, it's just your one toenail was just like digging into my neck and it hurted. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry. I know. But if you want to snugs with me, can you sit with your toenails on the neck of my hoodie, not on my flesh? Yeah, because you won't let me trim your toenails. It's nothing significant. I was only thinking of peeking into the kitchen to check if the food preparations are going smoothly. There seems to be more guests than expected. Oh, that. Thanks for being so attentive. I do think there won't be any issues with Nick in charge. But it's always better to be safe. Could you pop over and confirm that for me? Edward didn't doubt my excuse at all. Yes, well then, please excuse me. I was really hoping we were going to have like a little... We're going to marry Edward and then Linus is we're going to have that love triangle. I don't think that's what we're getting. And that makes me sad. It makes me very sad. With his permission, I went into the corridor and arrived at the stairway to the basement. But I passed it by and headed outside. I didn't have a destination in mind. Absent-mindedly, I walked through the gaps between the trees, melting into the darkness. I'd had a premonition of sorts. Recognizing a shadowy silhouette motionless in the garden, I came to a stop. Hey there, Space. I thought you'd be busy serving everyone. What brings you to a place like this? That should be my question, Lord Linus. Are you not going to participate in the ball? Well, no, I'm not. I think I like it here. Precisely in time with Linus's question, music performed by the band inside reached us. The ball had begun. Linus walked away from the tree he was leaning against and approached me. You know, I feel like I'm always asking you the same question. What are you doing? It's practically a catchphrase by now. Perhaps, yes. Thinking back on all that happened between us, I nodded. Linus's eyes softened with nostalgia. Every time I had a good guess about your answer before I asked. For example, when I met you in front of the almshouse, I figured you'd gone to find an affiliate of the Twilight Ravens. It was the same when I saw you in Eden. I even predicted you'd deny my accusation both times. Do you know the answer this time, too? Good question. I'd be happy if it's because you came to look for me. Even if I'm wrong, I'd be grateful if you could lie to me. Why are you saying that? I suddenly had the urge to see what expression Linus was making. I took a step forward. The moonlight was dim and unreliable, making it hard to discern his face, but... Hey, Space, will you let me have that kind lie? A kind lie? There was an earnesty in Linus's plea, and I keenly wanted to answer it. Spurred by my emotions, I voiced my truth. I was wondering where you were. It was only a coincidence that I came here, but maybe it wasn't mere coincidence. This was the place where I first met you, Lord Linus, so I had a hunch I could find you if I came. Your belief that I came to find you isn't wrong. I'm not lying, you know? I see. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, really happy, but this isn't really the first place we met. There was something meaningful about his last whisper. My heart skipped a beat. There wasn't any threat in his tone, so I couldn't work up any motivation to be on my guard. Hey, they're performing a waltz. Even in the garden, I can hear it so clearly. Linus abruptly changed the topic. He didn't leave any room for me to reply. So, he's already figured out... I mean, because this we split off before we had that little scene where he's like, I had fun playing tag, and you're like, yeah, and you knew exactly what he meant. You know what I mean? And, so he already knows who we are. I said that I like it here, but then this chance doesn't come every day. I'll dance. So, if it's all right with you, will you be my dance partner? My eyes widened. I'd heard a line like that before, at a time that now felt like another life. The moonlight shifted just enough to give Linus's amber eyes a sparkle, just like the last time he smiled at me. How long's it been since I saw this smile? I can read. He held out a hand to me. I keep hearing noises. I think it's just because my heat kicked on, so you're hearing the thunk. But it's what is that noise? What is that noise? I don't know. He held out a hand to me as if I were entranced by a spell. I took it. Then he tugged me close. Let's dance, Space. Let's dance as if our hearts are free during this one moment. Let's dance as the simple Linus in Space. Yes, gladly. His smile was contagious. I replied joyfully, and we began dancing in the garden that we had all to ourselves. He doesn't change. He still dances as if he's flying. Matching Linus's light and springy steps, I'd have believed my wings were out if I was told so, though that wasn't possible at all. Our dance brought back another faraway memory of when we ran around the forest playing tag. It really did feel like here we were free. I wanted to dance alone with him forever like this. Just as that fleeting wish skimmed my mind, Linus abruptly changed his step. Huh? At his unexpected movement, I stumbled and ended up crashing into his chest. Linus didn't push me away. He threw his arms around me and held me there, tight. What? Lord Linus! His arms left me so little room that I couldn't breathe properly. Unable to raise my face, all I could do was listen to Linus's heartbeat. I can't breathe. Interrupting my tiny protest, Linus whispered, Listen to what I have to say, Spacey. He called my real name. My heart nearly stopped. In contrast, Linus's heart beat away at a steady rhythm. Not showing any regard for my shock, he went on with what he had to say. I've figured out who you are, but you mustn't respond. You also mustn't look at my face. Why? Even though he just told me not to respond, I had to ask. To pacify me, Linus tenderly stroked my hair. If you admit it, I'll be forced to capture you. Because I am Linus Ward of the Cousits. He looks so sad right now. But I don't want to do that, so please don't admit who you are. Then why can't I look at your face? You're partnered with Ed, aren't you? There are rumors from people witnessing you two together in Eden. Linus avoided my question. This is just my guess, but you changed your path, didn't you? You rejected the fate of clashing with me and chose Ed's method. No? As much as I wanted to deny it, Linus was correct about what I'd done, but not why I'd done it. I ran away from a confrontation with Linus, and seeing my actions afterward, I couldn't blame him for thinking I'd chosen Edward. But I made this choice because Linus, in the heat of the moment, I tried to confess the feelings I'd tucked away in my heart, but Linus hugged me closer, cutting me short. It's okay. You don't have to say anything. I'm sure that taking Ed's hand is the right choice for your happiness. In the end, whether our paths align or diverge, our only choice is to be enemies, forever apart like parallel lines. This future is the best we could do. This is so painful. It's so beautifully painful. Forever apart like parallel lines. It's so simple and yet it hits so hard. Ed said that Linus wouldn't notice political tactics, but he's so perceptive. Linus might actually know everything already. He's realized it and is choosing to stay out of it because it's not his domain. Judging by his wording, enemies, it sounded like Linus had picked up on Edward's plans. But Ed said that if the country's sovereign changes, Kus Sith would swear their allegiance to the new ruler. Doesn't that mean we could come out on the same side? I wasn't able to point that out. After all, you can't look at my face because I'd have to kiss you if you did. Linus's enduring passion made my eyes grow hot with tears. I love you. I really do. No matter how many times we find each other, I'll fall in love with you. So romantic, holy shit. But the day my feelings bear fruit will probably never come for all of eternity. As long as I'm a Ward and you're a Randolph. Linus, please let me see your face. I just said you mustn't. Were you saying that you want me to kiss you? Ed would be mad. We're only allies. We aren't lovers. He won't get angry. Yes, he will. He'll still be peeved. I'm sure you're aware of his feelings by now, aren't you? But I can't return his feelings because I... This was when I realized that my feelings had grown beyond the point of suppression, yet there was still something holding me back. Even if I confess now, there's no future for us, since we stand on opposite sides when it comes to the Queen. I can't tell him yet. Linus, let me see your face, Linus. I can't. I instead entreated him, anguish cracking my voice, but Linus wouldn't loosen his arms. I'm begging you. I want to see your face. I repeated the same sentence like a stubborn child. Again, Linus stroked my hair fondly. Eventually, after repeating that a few times, he relinquished his hold on me, pushing me away. With his face still turned away, he left. Linus! My cry dissipated in the darkness of night. The only thing that remained by my side was the distant melody of the band. A few months after the ball, I was walking along the streets of Rowan alone. Today I was heading to a certain place for Ed's errand. The exhibition was held without incident. However, the credit for it wasn't attributed to the Queen. The message was clear. Even Fremdlin, that watches Grand Albion like a hawk, should have understood that the Queen no longer rules this nation. The age where we live under the rule of a monarch is over. From here on out, everyone will go arm in arm to build our country. Due to the efforts of Ed and his allies, the Queen was rapidly losing her authority. As for the Queen, perhaps because she no longer had any interest in being center stage, or perhaps because of her deteriorating health, she hadn't shown up in public ever since. That reminds me, I haven't seen Oberon either. I touched the watch in my pocket, but as I expected, there was no disturbance that would signal his coming. Maybe he's mad that I'm taking forever to fulfill my end of the contract. I certainly hope he's only mad. I did plan to pay the Queen a visit with Ed. I prayed that if I took back his wing from her then, it would mean that I kept my word. That said, I still haven't figured out a way to snatch Oberon's wing back. But I'm sure it'll work out before the time comes, right? Though I felt uneasy, I'd arrived at my destination. I pushed away my thoughts and pushed open the door in front of me. You're right on time. Everything going well on your end. Yeah, thanks to Ed, we've gained yet another ally. His influence is spreading its roots in the palace, too.
Well, that's great to hear, but really, it's a pain and a half to keep these rough Eden people in check.
But that's your job, isn't it? Hang in there, John. John, the person I'd come to visit today, smiled while sighing exasperatedly. By now, he was one of Ed's allies, too. John worried about the interactions between me and Linus to begin with, so when I confided in him that Ed asked for my cooperation, he agreed, despite some minor hesitation. John did get mad that I agreed without consulting anyone first, but that must be because he was worried about me.
Oh, right, milady. I want you to pass this on to Edward. I was thinking about ways to deal with the aristocracy that opposes us, and
the role of a go-between for Eden and the nobility, which I'd originally shouldered, had transferred to John. He was more qualified. John's been getting along well with Ed, too. I'm glad I made this choice. And I wished I believed this was for the best with my whole being, but I still felt a pang in my chest that I was forced to ignore. Oh, you're here. Good day, Goneril. But I'm just about to head back. We finished our business, and I'm satisfied that I got to see John. Ah, I see. After I replied with a smile, I realized something wasn't right about Goneril. Did something happen? Did the Royalists make a new move? I could say that. In any case, I suppose it's a hard blow for the Queen, for sure. A hard blow? What happened? It agitated me how she dragged her feet. It wasn't like her. Eventually, Goneril found a resolve to speak. They killed House Ward. Even if I zip my lips now, you'll learn the news somewhere eventually. So better it comes from me. The Hound is dead.
Hound? You mean Ward?
Huh? It was all too sudden. I couldn't process her statement. Even after John's exclamation, I wasn't able to grasp it. I balked, motionless. So, obviously not a love triangle, and I mean, kind of a love triangle, but we don't get a love triangle CG. So, disappointment at that. But, you know, and it's not exactly a love triangle. I mean, it wasn't a love triangle in the Lucas ending either, because we were like, yes, I will marry Alfred as a means to an end, to, you know, whatever. And then he was like, well, I'll make you fall in love with me. And we were like, what the fuck? Because yeah, he would be able to do it. But I was really hoping we were going for that here, but we did not. But there was a little bit of a triangle. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But still, you didn't give me the CG I wanted. So, and how are we getting a CG in this ending if Linus is dead? Oh, are we going to be like looking at his grave or something? Oh. My mind went completely blank. It was a tasteless joke, I thought, and somehow managed to find my voice. Dead? It's got to be some kind of mistake, right? He's one of the strongest men I know. Yeah, I'm aware. But it sounds like he'd been recklessly working himself to the bone the past few months. I heard he'd been running around hunting anti-royalists non-stop. It's not clear whether overconfidence or fatigue brought him down. Apparently a most violent lot surrounded him when he was alone and did away with him. That can't be... You're lying. It's no skin off my back if you don't believe me, but when you return to the Bernsteins, you'll hear the same, willing or no. There seemed to be something between you and that hound, so I thought I should let you know first. Well, use your walk back to the estate as a chance to collect your thoughts. Goneril spoke out of concern for me, but barely any of it registered. In the corner of my vision I saw John stand, maybe to come help me, but I didn't have the will to face him and staggered out of the shop. Goneril said that Linus worked himself to the bone for months. The past few months. She's so dead in the eyes right now. Maybe since our encounter the night of the ball. Had Linus started running ragged then? While Ed and I had pushed forward the movement to overthrow the Queen, had Linus fought all this time to protect her? An excruciating pain stabbed at the depths of my heart. I clutched at my chest, my face unable to mask my agony. It looked awful. The expression reflected in the display window was dark. Hollow eyes stared back at me. I should have been honest back then. I should have said that I chose this path because I loved him. He said that he liked me, but I didn't say a thing. I should have told him too. Would I have avoided this outcome if I confessed back then? Questions without answers swirled in my mind as I trudged to the estate. Space! We just received news from the butler of House Ward. It's. The moment I stepped into the entrance hall, Philip rushed over, his face white as a sheet. Before he could force me to face the agonizing truth a second time, I spoke up first. If it's about Lord Linus, I heard about it in the city. Have you informed Lord Edward? I just did, yeah. Lord Edward lost his cool like I've never seen before, and he's resting in his room now. Reporting that in a grief-stricken voice, Philip faltered a little before he continued. You want me to pet you, but you keep attacking me. But you keep screaming and biting me. That's why I don't want to pet you. Lady Lily's worried sick about him. I think you're the only one who can comfort him. So could you please check up on him? I think Lord Ed will want to talk to you. Understood. I didn't know whether Ed truly wanted to talk to me, but I couldn't leave him alone like this, that was for sure. Like me, he hadn't seen Linus these past few months. Suddenly losing his childhood friend in this situation, even I couldn't fathom how traumatizing that would be. Lord Edward, it's Space. May I come in? I knocked on the door to Ed's room, but there was no response. However, I faintly sensed someone moving inside. I opened the door. Ed was sitting on his bed, hanging his head. I made sure to make my presence known, but he didn't spare a glance in my direction. Look at him, half undressed. Though I barged in, I wasn't sure what to say. We were tormented by the same grief. What could I say to him, of all people? Ed, if you want me to be here, I'll stay. But if you don't, I'll leave at once. What do you want me to do? I left the decision up to him. Ed looked up at last, but his eyes were dark and murky. It wasn't the Ed I knew at all. After staring at me for a while with vacant eyes, he spoke up somberly. I owe you an apology. Lynn, too. An apology? What in the world are you saying? I'd expected him to just cry or grieve, so I couldn't immediately comprehend what he meant. Ed shook his head. The thing is, I knew that you and Lynn were drawn to each other, but I pulled you apart. When I learned your identity, I voiced one valid justification after another, but in the end, all I wanted was you by my side. I said that if the sovereign of the country changed, so would Lynn's allegiance, but that was a lie. That he never gave up fighting for the Queen's sake is the damning proof. He wound up like this because he worked so recklessly. It's my fault Lynn died. Spending the last few months together, I thought that I'd learned who the true Ed was, an ordinary youth who loved his friends. But now I was faced with a hidden, dark part of his nature. Everyone has dark emotions in their hearts. I shouldn't be surprised that Ed does too. It's the same for me, after all. I recalled my face reflected in the shop window. I'd seen an intense regret in it. The same emotion was in front of me now. I prioritized my own desires, and my greed snatched away the future where the two of you might have been together. You don't have to apologize. Not to me, at least. I was the one who chose to turn my back on Linus. Even without you, I'd have run away. I was scared of facing him, but now I wish I could make a different choice. As I shared my emotions, I approached Ed's side. He looked up at me like a child who'd lost his way. Oh, you're sitting in my face now and it's annoying. I love you. You're so soft, but my chin rubbing against you is really irritating. Suddenly, a certain memory flashed through my mind. On the night Linus had captured me, he kissed me repeatedly while asking me this. Space, do you truly like me? I realized that Linus had worn a similar expression, the face of someone helpless, lost, and vulnerable. I thought that I was drowning in heartache at that time, but now I know. My heart was aching with affection for him. I had wanted to comfort Linus back then. The same expression on Ed made me feel something similar, but was this an emotion I felt for Ed or someone else? Unable to come up with the answer, I reached out to embrace Ed, and he welcomed me. So the CG and Linus's route that we get is us. Our clothes are a little unruffled there. Are we gonna I mean, our shoulders bare here. He's like, and our like face and cleavage. Like, this is a saucy little CG for being sad. It's like we're gonna like sad fuck because he's sad that he feels responsible for getting his friend killed. I loved it, and then it's just gonna be this like pity bang for both of us. But like an Edward CG in the middle of Linus's route. I mean, at the end, that's interesting. I didn't expect this. Drawn to each other, our bodies tangled as we toppled onto the bed. Space, will you stay? Oh, Spacey, sorry. Will you stay with me? I will. I'll be with you forever. Ed's voice trembled. I replied with the words I'd wished I'd said to Linus. Likewise, though Ed seemed like he was looking at me, he was looking at someone else through me. He embraced me as if clinging to the only light in his darkness. His regret never faded. This is kind of sad, though, because it's not like the bad ending in Lucas's route where, like, Lucas is like, I'm going to steal her back from you. I know she's your wife, but whatever. And Alfred's like, uh-huh, yeah, right. And it was a weird little, like, oh, okay. You know, this is like, Linus is dead, and the only reason we're staying with Edward is out of guilt, and he's with us because he does care about us, but it's also a guilt. And it's just like a weird, you're like, oh, it's kind of traumatic. Like this, oh, neither one of us deserves this. Oh, I'm sorry, Lynn. I'm so sorry. Ed will probably remember Linus whenever he sees me, and whenever he remembers Linus, he'll apologize for his sins over and over. Even so, he likely won't push me away. The earnest and kind-hearted Edward Bernstein was going to keep his sins so close that he would never forgive himself. I know that he'll try to cherish me to make up for Linus, and I too will cherish Ed in place of Linus. I'm sorry, Spacey. I'm still doing something heartless to you and Lynn. I feel like I'm going to be crushed by my grief, and I still can't stop yearning for you. I can't believe myself. Ed, don't apologize anymore. I persuaded him gently as I wound my arms around him. My mind wouldn't stop making the connection to that night. Oh, shit! It's kind of a love triangle in a disturbing kind of way that, like, the CG flashes and changes. She closes her eyes and she's just imagining she's holding Linus. That is some beautiful pain. Oh, stunning work, game. Stunning work. How dare you? When I hug him like this, Linus's hair brushed against my cheek. Even the breath tickling my ear mimicked the memory. And then she opens her eyes and it's Edward again and she's gonna, oh my god, it's gonna keep oh my god, it's insane. Linus's breath was hotter than this. If you say that you're doing something heartless, right now I'm doing something equally as heartless to you. I was relinquishing myself to Ed, but my mind and heart were filled with Linus. Oh, there was no chance for our hearts to truly belong to each other. Emotions for the dead were frozen in time, a fact I knew well. But to escape the torment of our anguish, we sought out each other's heart, knowing that it was a fleeting consolation. Each other's heat, sorry. Doing this wouldn't change the fact that our lost sun would never rise again. All I knew for certain was that together we'd forever wander in a maze sunlight would never grace. Holy shit. The audacity.
エドの気持ちに気がついてたよ。でもどうして俺がそれを邪魔できる？俺にそんな資格はないんだ。それはもう、8年前に失ってしまった。だからどうか、俺に縛られないで。君の幸福をただ願うよ。
That hurts too, him saying that. Oh god. Like, oh my god. Oh, you know what? It was kind of love triangle-y. Not nearly in the way I expected, in a very painful, awful, the fucking audacity, how dare you kind of way. But bravo, game. Good for you. You made that one fucking... You made the love triangle hurt in that one. Like, ooh, shit. Okay. So, let's go to... Is it under scrapbook? I think it is. Okay, let's see. That was Alfred, and that one's Alfred. Okay, these two are Linus, and then those two are Lucas. I wonder where, because we have 1, 2 here, so that's somebody. There's 8 more down there. So who do they belong to? Because these ones say are probably Edward, right? And then you have 2 for Ascot, 2 for John, and then 4, I guess, for the truth route. Maybe makes sense. Interesting. Okay, well, anyway, love makes people timid. So this is, oh yeah, because don't forget Eltbeak. That's where he is. So like the blue flowers is where Alfred, I just like seeing where they put them. And then he's on the Who Killed Cock Robin. Don't forget Eltbeak is Linus. Okay, so then I think the bluebells, for some reason, I'm thinking it would be Edward. You know what I mean? Because his color is blue. But, so who's the 2 mandalas, and then who's Count Your Sins? Interesting. Interesting! You know what I mean? Because there's... Anyway. Love makes people timid, sure. Yes, we'll play the short story. I don't know whose it is. Well, I mean, I don't know where it came. You know what I mean? But was this the one after the good ending? I don't remember where it popped up. But anyway, love makes people timid. During my journey with Spacey, I learned about a new side of her. Oh, this is probably after the good ending. Okay. She's fast to become friendly with pretty much anyone. It's a bit surprising considering how she acted back at the Bernstein estate. But now that I think about it, when she met me, she was a girl who loved company. She became friends with me right away, after all. Now that she'd overcome her bitter days, maybe the girl she was inside was revealing herself. As I thought that, Spacey came running toward me. Her shiny golden hair fluttered behind her. Linus, you were waiting outside. You could have gone in ahead of me. I'd thought about it, but if I waited outside, I'd see you as soon as you came back, so I decided to wait here. Not to mention, well, I like seeing you in the sunlight. Spacey's hair almost glowed under the sun. When she looked as if she were light itself, it reminded me of the best days of my life. I like it too. I like how you wait for me like this, and I really like how you smile at me so brightly. Spacey's voice got quiet at the end, and she hung her head. Her cheeks flashed a crimson well matched to the setting sun. I probably look the same right now. Her shyness was contagious. I felt heat gather in my cheeks. I leaned down to look at her. If I wasn't blushing before, I was now. Maybe saying in the sunlight isn't accurate since the sun's almost set. It might get cold fast, so how about we head in? Good point. Let's do that. Her embarrassment didn't alleviate, and we kept a good distance from one another. After we had dinner, we usually would have retired to separate rooms for the night. But today was different. You said you wanted to talk. She asked me to come to her room, so I followed without thinking much of it, but to be here like this, I'm getting nervous. The only places to sit in the cramped room were a chair or the bed, and she took the bed. Seeing her there, my body reacted on its own. It's nothing big. I just wanted to talk about what happened today. Okay, from what I remember, you went off to chat with a girl you've gotten to know here. Did something unusual happen? Our journey to the ward domain was especially demanding for Spacey, since we had to sleep outdoors at times. So I made an effort to have us stop in town to stay in inns whenever possible. This town was one of those stops, and today, Spacey had visited the house of a girl her age after they'd hit it off. Unusual, kind of. It's more that I learned that you and I are unusual. Can I get your opinion on it? So, we're technically lovers, aren't we? The girl I befriended today asked, so I said yes, but she said that it's weird that we don't kiss if we're lovers, and... Huh? What? Come again? I'm not trying to say I'm wondering why you won't kiss me. Are you against kissing or something? Like just earlier, our eyes met, our faces were close, but you backed away. Do you dislike being close to me? No, I don't dislike it at all. It's just right now. Hold on. Wait, please. Spacey leaned forward. Oh, I'm reading that like me. Spacey leaned forward toward me again, and without thinking, I pushed her away. We were alone together in this small room and at night. This isn't good for my heart. So you don't want to kiss me after all? That's not it. I do want to kiss you. I do, but the thing is, have you forgotten what I did to you? What you did to me? I had the urge to look away at awkwardness, but I wanted to atone for what I'd done. I stared right into Spacey's eyes. Before we became lovers, I kissed you, forcefully in a heartless way. That was the one who kissed you first. Wait. Oh, wait, that was the one who kissed you first, who did something heartless first, was me, no? Even if we share the blame, I still think that as a man, my actions were reproachable. So I've been thinking about that if I kiss you, you might feel uncomfortable. I've been afraid it'd make you dislike me, so I'm scared. It's a kiss with the person I love. How could I ever dislike you because of that? Not to mention that we've kissed before, in Outbeak at dawn, if you remember. I know, but that kiss was, how do I put it? It was like we were sealing an oath. If I kiss you now, though, on our journey so far, no matter how close we got, I managed to keep myself in check. I felt I should have the same self-restraint now. When I watched Spacey grow despondent before my eyes, I gave up on my unambiguous evasion. What I'm trying to say is if I kiss you, I probably won't be able to stop. And it's night, and we're alone. How can I stop myself from doing more? Unless you're saying it's okay for me to take you as mine. Huh? Take me Wait, what? It's a terrible idea to let me into your room at night. Just standing there is making my heart go crazy. This is so fucking adorable and ridiculous. And to top it off, you brought me here to ask for a kiss. You aren't scared of me at all. Or are you ready to take that step? Wanting to tease my oblivious beloved, this time I leaned forward. You're even redder than when we were outside. You're honestly so adorable. Crap, thinking of her as cute right now is bad. I kind of want to pin her down like this. I mean, I can feel my heart racing faster. Still, I desperately clung to my rationality. I'm probably not ready for that step, but would it trouble you just to give me one kiss? No fair. That's so unfair, Spacey. Instead of pinning her down, I dove onto the bed face down in a pout. Is it too much to ask after all? I finally lost my cool hearing the cute voice. Rolling over, I raised my hands above my head. Okay, if you insist, then could you kiss me? That way I won't touch you or make any moves on you. Thanks. Then I'll kiss you now. Spacey stepped over nervously and peered into my face. Slowly, she leaned closer. I closed my eyes and soon felt her soft, warm lips brush against mine for a split second. Are you satisfied now? Sorry, just one more time. Even though her face was bright red, Spacey gazed at me with pleading, heated eyes. She leaned down once more, her lips pressed against mine longer than the first time. Oh no, I'm a goner. Linus, you said you wouldn't touch me. Sorry, I'm only gonna hug you. I promise I won't do anything more than this. You said you weren't gonna touch me, and that was a promise, and now you lied, so I don't trust you now. I exclaimed as I held my love tightly in my arms, but it was more to reason with myself. I pulled away from her enough to look her in the eyes. I could feel her breath tickle my cheek. I have a feeling that if I don't return to my room right now, I'll break that promise. To force myself to look away, I buried my face in Spacey's shoulder one last time. Aw. It was just a tortured little kiss one. Before she lost everything when we were kids. Before she lost everything. Okay. Sometime after the injured boy Liam had begun his rehab. The two of us were strolling in the forest, chatting about what to do.
For rehab, I think playing tag's got to be the best. But is there something else you want to do? Tag sounds great too. But today, I'd love to know how you usually spend your time. What I usually do?
Liam smiled brightly and nodded. Feeling my heart flutter a little in my chest, I replied,
I usually play in the forest or study with my brother and...
As I was about to tell Liam my full daily routine, a certain person's angry face flashed in my mind and shut me up mid-sentence.
Speezy? You said and.
Liam looked confused, and I panicked more. There was someone who always told me stories in the flower field, but I had to keep him secret. If he found out that I told Liam about him, he might never tell me stories again. Oberon? I didn't want that to happen, but I also really didn't want to lie to my new friend. Actually, the Bluebell one might be John, because there's the field of bluebells, right? Isn't that where we find Oberon? And I'm pretty sure John is so the little on the card page, the bluebells might be John. So it's fine as long as I don't describe him.
Yeah, it should be fine. The thing is, I barely ever left this village before.
Huh? Then is this the only place you know?
When I was younger, I went to Rowan before, but just once. So I like to listen to stories about the outside world.
So there's someone who tells you stories?
Yep, but I don't get to see them all the time, so yeah, I usually spend all day studying or stuff like that.
To say I studied all day was a bit of a fib, too. I often practiced my face-sight with my father and mother. My parents said that I've got to keep that hush-hush. There's so much I can't tell him. As I went on, I grew worried that he might think I was a boring girl, but...
Hey, so is the person that tells you about Rowan not free today? Yeah, they won't be free for a while. Okay, alright then. In that case, I've gone to Rowan a few times so I can share my stories. Really? Yep, ask me anything. Let's talk lots today.
With a smile that swept away all my unease, Liam took my hand and pulled me under a shady tree.
And those are the trends in the capital. Wonderful! I want to go watch an opera.
And then we do. With Linus. That's so cute. Liam talked to me about all kinds of things. Sweet and fluffy desserts, pretty dresses and hair ornaments, the scenery in the capital with beautiful buildings that touch the sky. I love you, but you keep putting yourself against my fucking face, and I hate it. It's driving me bonkers. Please stop. They weren't mythical tales of another time or world. It all existed under the same blue sky as me and my village. It was fun to imagine.
That sounds so nice,
I whispered without thinking. Embarrassed, I covered my mouth and looked at Liam. He didn't say anything, but stroked my hair.
Hey, Liam, Mother tied my hair for me. You're gonna get it all messy.
Miffed, I huffed at him. Liam just grinned and poked my cheek.
Sorry, but I'm glad you cheered up. Hey, Spacey, I told you about the pretty and fun things just now, but that's not all there is.
What do you mean?
The world's big. There are all sorts of things and people. Scary things, bad people.
Scary things? Liam's words reminded me of the person my parents had warned me about. I'd never seen her myself, but I shivered at the thought.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I just wanted to tell you it's not all good stuff out there.
For some reason, Liam looked pained and went quiet, but he found his smile again quickly and returned to stroking my hair.
I think your parents are telling you to avoid the outside world because there are dangerous things too.
Okay. Father, mother, and brother did everything they could to care for me all the time. I believe what Liam said about them just wanting me safe.
Plus, once you grow up, you'll be able to go to all kinds of places. You'll be free to go wherever you want. You think so? I hope that's true.
Liam cheered me up so well that I started getting excited about an imaginary future. Liam whispered something then, but I didn't catch it.
It'd be great if I could take you to those places myself, but I'm...
As I was about to ask him to repeat it...
Oh, someone's coming!
Spacey, I knew it. You were playing with Liam after all. Riley, who had headed out earlier to help Father, pushed through the grass to appear in front of us.
You're amazing, Liam. How did you know my brother was coming? I just kind of did. Brother, Liam's amazing. He realized you were coming before you showed up.
Brother? Back then I hadn't realized that Riley had been frowning while listening to us. I was foolishly oblivious. You're like 10 also. I should have realized it before anyone else. Been more guarded than anyone else. Again, you're 10.
Yeah.
Riley lifted me up into his arms, smiling, wrestling us from the awkward mood. It's nothing. Let's head back. Come on, Liam.
Yes.
The sun sinking behind the mountains was dazzling. With my 2 companions, we returned to where Mother and Father were waiting. I'd never imagined that my unchanging life was fragile and fleeting, that it would shatter with Liam as the trigger. All too soon, I'd be taught a devastating lesson about how blissful these days had been.
Finn.
Oh.
All right, buddy, let's get you to your potty spot so I can get you the fuck away from me right now.
I love him to death, but I do not like it when he insists on sitting in my face, like on my chest, in my face, and I'm trying to read and my chin's just rubbing against his feathers. Like, he's soft, but it's like it's a slight irritant, and it's like, oh, it just annoys me, and I keep trying to shove him away, and then he just keeps putting himself back, or then he bites me, and it's like, oh my god, I'm trying to shove you away because I don't want you in my face.
I love you so much, but I don't want you right now.
Like,
I want you, but not in my face like that. I know. I love you, but not like this, okay? I'm sorry.
So I'm going to lean forward now so you can't snuggle in my face, and you just have to sit on my shoulder, and you just have to fucking suck it up, Buttercup. Forgot what we were doing here. Oh, well, that makes sense. So Edward is probably the first one, because it goes Edward, Alfred, Linus, Lucas, then Ascot, John, and others. So wait a minute. So, but it still doesn't, I mean... Oh, I wonder if count your sins. You know what I mean? So I wonder if count your sins. I don't know why I care about this right now, but I do. I wonder if count your sins is Edward, because then it goes down to Alfred. And then it goes up, don't forget Eltbeak, to Linus. Then it goes down again to Lucas. And it would go up to Ascot, where the little mandalas are, or doilies. And then it would go down to the bluebells, which are probably... Now, John could be the one that was reading us stories in the field, or it's Oberon, who knows. But I still feel like John is Oberon's vessel. They look too much alike for there not to be something sus about that. And I'm pretty sure it's a bluebell field that ends up like... isn't that where, like, they were mentioned the bluebells or the fields of... That's, like, the Fae stuff or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when we go see Oberon, although that background is a feel of a bluebell, so that would make sense. And it would make sense it goes from up, down, up, down, up, down. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, well, we'll see what happens when we... Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Hi, Alfred. Oh, look at you. You're so beautiful. Okay. Let's look at those last 2. Oh, God, that's not what I meant to do. Can't figure out what I'm doing. Okay. Okay, so we only had these 2 new ones. Oh, wait, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Hold on a second. Which... Wait. X is to change the variation. Okay, this one's backwards, and oh my good God, I can't. This one's just very bizarre. Like, in the photos, it acts differently. Like, replaying the scene as A instead of, like, moving the things as A or whatever. But, yeah, no, this one's still freaky and weird, and I kind of like it. And it does have a weird... It feels like it should be 3D with the way the things are, and it's just so bizarre. I think that adds to the freakiness. But then, like, this one, it's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, you know, I mean, it definitely is, because he's got our shirt unbuttoned and he's peeling it down and we're getting all freaky. And then it's like, you know, It's so amazing how they did this because I was like, you put an Edward CG in the middle of okay. And then I was thinking to myself before it flipped, I was like, okay, but at the end we usually get a voiceover thing. And then I'm like, how are you gonna do Linus voicing? I mean, but it's like here she is staring at him and then she closes her eyes and he fades into like line. Oh. It's good. It's traumatic. Now let's see. That was our lovely kissy CG end one, but I mean, I still think this is actually one of the cute ones too. You know what I mean? Is it like but it's just cute the way the window is and he just looks happy and then we're at peace with each other and not fighting each other and it's not as adorable as the kissy one, but we've already done the kissy one, so like whatever. But yeah, no, his bad endings were good. I still think Alfred's clown ending is by far the best. But I do like that they are all like different. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't just like she dies in front of Lucas and is like, I just wanted to die in front of you. That's how I'm going to pay you back. That's my revenge. And he's like, what the fuck? We technically died in front of Alfred, but not after destroying everybody else. And he knows we're doing it. And then we were looking at him like, I love you as I die. And like, what the fuck? That one was still the best. And then like Linus is being the fact that we are like torturing him, but it's like, they're good. They're all good in their own way, but I am slightly disappointed that we didn't get a love triangle ending quite the same way as Alfred and Lucas. That one in Lucas's route is by far the best bad ending because in all seriousness, like marrying Alfred and then having Lucas as a lover on the side is like, and them fighting over me, chef's kiss, perfect, here for this. That's my kind of bad ending. I'm just saying. Like, that one will haunt me in the best way possible. You're like, hell yeah. And, like, this one kind of was a little bit of a love triangle, but a very tragic, fucked up one. So actually fits as a bad ending, to be fair. But anyway, we will start Edward's route, which is, and again, okay, so the original, like, the producers or the whatever, whoever, the people, the game people, anybody involved with the game, they're like suggested soft suggestion of doing Ascot next. There's a flow into that because Ascot gives you the knife and you're like, interesting, why? But I feel like now doing these bad endings, it's so much better. Like the Edward, because there's like an Edward Linus, like slight little rivalry going on where you could see it even before we got into that bad ending where like you're like Edward's got a thing for you, so when they do that in the bad ending it's not like it comes out of nowhere and you're like, wait, what? Like Alfred never really spoke to us in Lucas's route, so Alfred coming out and being like, I've always had feelings for you would be like, what? I'm not sure you had feelings for me in your route. I mean, yes you did, but still, you know what I mean? But him being like, listen, we'll get married and then we'll kill the queen together. That's like a business arrangement. Totally makes sense. Edward coming out and being like, I kind of have feelings for you, but I kind of felt that you were into Linus, and you're like, it fits. You could see it happening. So, again, brilliant. I love this game so much. It's so fucking amazing. 22 out of 10. Like, 10 out of 10 is not enough. This one is like a 6-star, out of 5. Like, it's so good. And we're like halfway through it, but Jesus, it's fun. But we're going to start Edward's route, and I think that's a good transition. So from like Linus into Edward, I think it makes sense. Hold on. Let's make sure we don't fade away, but I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.